Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. I got a new interview for y'all right now. This is my brother right here. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
What's going on? My name is Brando, Westside Mob. What's happening, bro?
Man, now, a lot of people, I guess, haven't viewed whites rocking like us or what we were engaged in inside of Florida State Prison. A lot of politics and a lot of different areas of the country are completely different. We did time together at the JIT camp. We met at Sumter CI. We were both at Lancaster, but I was already in confinement at the time. How long in total did you do in Florida State Prison?
In total, without county time and whatnot, I did a good solid 5 years in Florida State Prison.
5 years?
Yeah.
And out of that 5 years, how many different compounds did you hit in Florida?
Let me see. All in all, I hit 6 compounds.
Six different compounds. Now, being that we were both JITs when we went in, obviously we went to the YOs, the gladiators. How was your experience being white, hitting the gladiators, first day, first impression? How did that go for you?
Oh man, that shit was crazy, man. It was rough. But me, as hard-headed as I am, and like, it's just the way I was raised with so much pride and shit. I just went in there with, I don't know, 10 toes down, ready for whatever, and that shit was just wild, man. It was a wild ride my whole time in YO camp. It was wild. As far as like SFRC, South Florida Reception Center, right when I came in, transition, whatnot, classification process, all that stuff. When I went, okay, I got locked up when I was young. I got to prison right when I turned 17. Right when I turned 17, I was in prison, and it was strange. I was in the intake process. I was around a bunch of grown men, like doing the stripping process, all that weird shit around, and I was young, and it was I don't know, the COs, the COs were manhandling these grown ass men, and I'm like, holy fuck, I don't want to step out of bounds, you know what I mean? I don't know what. I think my transition process might have been a little bit more rougher than others at the reception center, because of the fact that I had came in. I was younger. I was wearing a G-Shock when I got arrested, and I went to SFRC. If you go with a watch, you could keep it if it's under a certain amount. And I had the G-Shock, and I went in there, with my chin up, rocking my G-Shock, and I didn't know there was this one sergeant that had tried to put me up on game. She's like, you might want to hide the G-Shock, But me, I'm like, what are you talking about, I went in there and I figured out what she was talking about real quick and shit. I remember the first thought I had when I stepped into the dorm in B-dorm at South Florida. I don't know. I felt like I was some kind of movie, man. It was like unreal. It was like dirty as hell. Just like, all eyes on you. Like you look just like, I don't know. It was just strange, especially at that age, because first of all, I didn't see any like white faces, so I was kind of like, oh, like, you know what I mean? What am I? What's going? You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
That's how it was for me too. I didn't see anybody that was white.
I was like, whoa. I was like, hold on, what's going on? Like, where's my room at? You know what I'm saying? And that's actually how I got in my first fight there, because I went into the room, and I guess this person that came with me had just got out of the box, and like he had went the day before, got out of the box the next day, and was grabbing some stuff out of the room. And we bumped it out or whatever, because he had walked in the room without knocking, and I thought he was like coming to, I have no idea, attack me. I was I heard so many stories and whatever I was just paranoid, man. Let's put it like that. And for good reason, because shit's crazy. Shit's live there. You know what I mean? It's a whole
Yeah,
different
yeah.
world. Like no other. I don't know. You're in there fighting. I feel like regardless of what you say, you know, you're fighting for your life in there. Especially at that time, because you know now I feel like with the YO camps that are no longer up and whatnot, it's different. It's not the same, but back then it was you're fighting for your life because you never know what's gonna happen back when you're going through that shit. Everybody wants a name, including me.
Hey, how did that first fight go?
I got beat up, bro, but I fought a lot.
That's
You
what
know
you're
what I'm
supposed to
saying?
do.
I got it. I beat it. Like I did some damage. Don't get me wrong, but this dude had already been to Brevard and shit like that, and you know what I'm saying. I don't know. You know, he's already been up the road or whatever. I just got in there trying to, bro. You know what's crazy? He was doing that like Swift shit, and I was just so like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But then I fought his homeboy too. I beat his homeboy though, so I felt pretty good about that. Like as far as South Florida, there's no TOH that I got, but there's some other shit that I went down there that I can't speak on, but that shit got wild, and that was my first experience in prison that like, you know, shit's real. And
Hell
then
yeah.
something.
Now, how was it for you when you hit Sumter?
I was just telling you this the other day. I had hit something with CT,
Yup.
you know, BBA homie, you know, so I feel like he'll shout that loud and proud any day. So I know, you know, I had got there with him, and at that time it's wild, bro, because when I get there, I'm looking at it, and you know, you got to go all the way around. So you're looking, you're like, oh, okay, here's the rec yard, and here's like the compound. You're just looking, and you're like, okay, like, you know, your heart's beating a million miles an hour. You know
Yup.
it is. Bro. You know it is. You know that shit. It's. I guess it's really not because you're scared or afraid, but more or less afraid of not knowing what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't know what to expect.
Exactly, and that's what it is. So I get there, everything happened so fast. I remember him saying like, opening the doors and saying, "Run, run!" and like all of us like jumping off the bus and stuff. And I remember we had rappers in the doors, and I forgot who it was, but somebody got smacked up for the rappers being on the doors. But everybody was getting manhandled. Everybody was getting their asses beat. Wasn't nobody getting spared on this bus. Nobody. And we're on the fence and whatever, and I'm just like, you remember he's telling us, he's like, don't look back. We got to have our nose on the fence. And he's like, don't look back. And I don't know where he's at. I just hear footsteps, and it's so nerve wracking. You're like, oh my God. Because you can't hit back. Like, well, you know, well, you can. You can. Feel free to hit back. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to get sent to Lake Butler with a broken jaw.
That's an option. You can hit back, but I'm green. I'm fresh meat. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do it. I just, it's not, that's not an option right there. It is, but that's like, come on, man.
It's not realistic.
Yeah, come on, man. Superman. So, anyways, it's like, plus, look how, you know what I'm saying? It's just not even worth it, bro. You see so many, remember how the Goon Squad looked? They were huge.
Bro, they were giant. Everybody looked like they were on juice, just got out the military, special forces, like.
Yeah. Whenever I was watching your video and you were talking about the dude running through the door and getting snatched up or whatever, that was CT. That was CT in my experience, bro. Yeah, that was him, dog. That shit was crazy.
Hey, free CT, man.
Yo, we were in that room where the dude had got snatched up. There's a whole bunch of chairs in there.
Yeah.
And this kid had got thrown into the chairs by one of the COs. I mean, like, thrown in. He's like bleeding and stuff. You know, he gets up and they're like, pick up the chairs. And he starts picking them up and they're like, stop using your hands. So he's like, what do you want me to do? And they're like, don't use your hands, figure it out. And he's starting to use his feet and shit. And like, bro, like I'm trying not to look at him because there's other people looking at him and getting smacked for looking at him. After that shit, let me think, man. We went into that room, and I remember there's a female officer that was like hitting us in the head with broomsticks, like telling us that people were getting these shoved up their asses and whatnot, like hitting us with the broomsticks in our head and whatnot, and just being totally, I don't know, outrageous, bro. She was just
disrespectful.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Everything that was I thought I was in hell, man. I was like, what? I have never been through nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how was it? Because of course, every prison you go to, you gotta hit like more or less, you know, the beginner dorm, like the reception dorm or whatever. You know, after you were done with that, how was it? How was your first experience having the inmates run up on you? Because at every YO camp, you're gonna get beat up by the COs the second you get there. That's the first thing you get through. Then you have the inmates that come at you. How was that when that first popped off for you?
Well, when I went in, I believe at Sumter, what was it? Were we in C dorm? Was that what it was? For the was that like the honor dorm and the orientation? Was it C dorm?
Yeah, C dorm.
C dorm, yeah. So when I was over there, it was mostly the people that I knew from South Florida the week before that got there, and it was people that I got there with. So I knew those people. So there wasn't really nothing going on. And here's the thing, I did so much time up the road, bro. Not like as in like 10, 20, 30 years, but I did so much time and got out. And it's hard to exactly remember like my first days in there, you know what I mean? I've been through so much war, so much stress, so much box time, you know, like CM shit. I don't know, man. At that time, I didn't know the history and whatnot. I learned that through being in the system, you know?
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it because being in the system, the things I learned in the system about my nation and about, you know, all the history, everything behind what I stand for. And okay, I stand for equality, bro. And everything I've learned through how we're being treated, about why everything started in the first place, about, you know, it's not, it shouldn't, how the system is down here, man, it shouldn't be inmate on inmate, how shit's going on, and how it should, you know, it's always gonna be guard on inmate. It shouldn't be inmate on inmate, man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We already facing oppression from the gods. We shouldn't be oppressing each other.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. And that's what's going down. And why? We were so mistreated by the COs, by the state. It's ridiculous, man. It's a crime, bro.
What was your first experience in the YOs, seeing somebody get hit up?
Okay, look, we line up every morning for chow at like before the sun comes up. It's like 5 in the morning, I believe, 6 in the morning. Anyways, we get up real early, whatever. We line up. We do this marching stuff at the first time I seen somebody get hit up at the camp I was at, like this, like at Sumter, is the time I'm talking about. I had seen people get touched over at South Florida, like touched as in getting cut. But this is the first time I seen somebody get like hit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got hit up. And I got stabbed in the face, poked up. I guess you could say poked up. It was a piece of fence, and they had got hit up. And I guess their teeth had got popped out. You know, they got hit up in the cheek, and their teeth had came out, and they were spitting up tons of blood. It was disgusting, man. It was wild. And that was lined up outside of C-dorm.
And how often, you know, because when wars broke out, every other, week or whatever, you got new people coming in, new gang members. So if they don't have numbers now, they might have numbers the next week. How often was it that people were getting hit up or people were getting cut or people were just crashing out?
Oh, multiple times a day. Multiple times a day. When there's war, it's going down every day. No doubt about it. Multiple times a day, it's going down. If it's not going down, you ain't rocking right. You know what I mean? If I didn't make it happen, I always made it happen, bro. Come
Hell
on.
yeah, I already know.
It went down.
How many times have you been hit up?
Multiple times I've been hit up. I've been fired up in my head. I've fired up in my face. I've had my nose broke. I've been cut. You know, I've been hit up multiple times.
And if
All
you
day war. All war.
if you can speak on it, what was your first time ever having to do something like that? Because the first time I cut somebody was at something in confinement, and you know who it was. But what was more or less your first experience with that, and what was the feeling behind it? Because for me, I pretty much felt that same feeling of when I went to prison, that nervous, your heart's beating, you don't know what to expect. And that's how it was for me when I first did my thing, you know what I mean? So
I'm at Sumter, right? And there was tension brewing with the another organization and whatnot. There was some tension and what. So I'm in the dorm, and now mind you, this same organization that there's tech with, they were the ones that mainly did my TOH. So if you watch my boys' videos, you'll know about the TOH and what goes. You know what I mean? You'll know about that little process and that ritual or what. But it's So I kind of had a little aggression towards this group as well, and one thing led to another, and it just all that bad blood was brewing, and one person was getting under my skin. I had hit this dude up, and before I did it, I was I was talking about it. I was telling one person, I was like, man, I'm gonna do it. I have made actually a razor that on that pencil, you know what I mean?
yep.
I had that's an old fashioned trick. It's an old wild trick that's still being used at whatever place is holding jits. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna be used if they can get a hold of razors. Even if they can't, they'll find a way to make something sharp and use that same technique. It's I had got that weapon, and on the way to chow, I remember thinking about it like, man, I hope I don't get caught with this weapon, because that's some check-in shit. You know what I mean? I'm trying to hit somebody up and I get caught with a weapon. That's automatic suspect. Like, oh boy, you tried to get caught with that weapon, you know?
Yep.
So I get to the chow hall, and I can't eat. I'm looking at my food like, and mind you, we haven't worked like, I'm in F dorm at the time. You remember when you get to Sumter and the guards tell you, they're like, we'll put you in F dorm so you can kill yourselves. That's the gangland.
That's the jungle.
I was in F dorm, and that's where shit had popped off. That's actually where the war started. When you got to the compound?
Yeah.
You remember that war had started because of this conflict I'm talking about right now?
Yup, this situation right here.
Yeah,
A lot of people got hit up behind all of this too.
Yeah, it was some wild shit. So that war was already like it was already brewing, you know what I mean? And the just so many different personalities in this one dorm. There's 80 jits there's probably like half of them under 16, you know what I mean? 16 and under, 17 and going crazy. They got all this time, and it's just so much stuff going on. You can't be contained, and everybody's going through different stuff, it's just trying to lash out, make a name, and that shit's crazy, bro. And anyway. So back to the situation. The war was already. It was like weird. It was already in the plot, and I decided to take it there that day. Some shit had happened. I had fought. Um, the same reason we fought, the person had did it again. You know what I mean? And he was a op, and I took it there that day at Chow at dinner, and it happened on the way marching back from Chow. You remember we had the march? I know you
Yup.
remember that.
And I hit, hit. Hello.
Hey, hey, yeah, man. When I'm at the table, I'm not gonna say I'm eating with some homies, and you know what I'm saying. I'm eating with some of the homies and whatnot, and they're like, "Man, you ain't gonna do it. You're not gonna do that shit." You know what I mean? Fucking with me. They know I'm gonna do it, and they're just like, they're like, man, they're like, there's hella COs and everything. I'm like, nah, it's straight. I'm gonna make something happen. So when I go, I get in line and I'm trying to look for him, and I can't see him, bro. And so I get out of line. I go to tie on my shoe, trying to like look where he's at. Yo, he was behind me, two people behind me. I'm like, oh, he's trying to get me. The dude that I'm trying to go hit up is trying to hit me up because he's watching
Yeah.
my every move, right? So I'm like, oh hell no. So he's like, oh shit. He sees that I peep game on something, right? So I'm tying my shoe, they start marching. I get two people behind him all the way to the right. We march in rows of three. So he would be to the far left and I would be to the far right. And I had to switch a couple people while we were marching. Anyway, the first time I go to pull out the line, we're passing O&P dorm. You remember O&P dorm at Sumter? Right there at Center Gate? While I'm passing Center Gate, the person's like, no, troll, you feel me? And troll means police over here. I don't know, but anyways, the person behind me like, yo, troll. So I put it back. I had ended up getting right behind him, sliding right behind him. Well, I go and I cut him. I cut him good, And after I did it the first time, I'm holding it, and he's like grabbing his face, and when he turns, his shit's like kind of hanging, and he's like, so I hit him up again, and somebody's like, yo, throw that, like I throw it or whatever, and when I throw it, I remember the COs just everybody's spreading around like cockroaches, bro. You know how that
Yeah,
is, bro.
everybody just hauls ass.
I'm trying to get lost in the confusion, bro. That's what I'm trying to do. So I get on the ground. And try to look inconspicuous. Everybody gets lined up after a long time on the ground. I'm getting bit up by ants. I'm scared to look up. People are getting smacked in this shit. Shit's going down. That was a real serious moment when that shit kind of happened, because that led to a lot of turmoil on the compound, didn't it?
Yup, a lot of people getting hit up after that.
Yeah.
On
That
both
shit,
sides too.
yeah, yeah, from both sides. You're right. And that shit was wild. Shit camp it was like, we didn't think about cause and effect and reactions and what's gonna happen and what, you know what I'm saying, and
We just
repercussions
did it.
and the long run and all that whatnot. It's like that's what happens. That's how it goes down.
What was your when was your first time hearing that I hit the compound?
Yo, I heard there was a white blood, and the first thing I thought in my head, to be honest with you, I thought Dub. I'm like, man, he's Dub, man. I don't believe it. I gotta see it first. And the first time I seen you, I remember you're outside. I'm at school, and I was in the same little compound, little unit as the orientation.
Yeah.
And I remember you're outside doing PT. I'm on break, and they had showed me you, and you had lifted up your shirt. You was doing jumping jacks. Lift up your shirt. I seen the big red B, and you're over there. You know what I'm saying? Loud and proud, and I respected that because I already knew they put pressure on you. But I had to hear. You got to hear everybody. Like, you can meet somebody and be like, "Oh, this dude's tough. This dude's straight. Like, he's not no bitch." You know what I mean? And then a week later, somebody will follow behind and be like, "Man, I seen him. He was in the box on PC." You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, when I was in the orientation dorm, the 3 bloods that came before me, they all got flipped in the barber shop. They got fired up and everything. So when I hit, it was expected that, you know, they were going to do the same to me.
Well,
I folded the blood the fake one that ended up cutting me, I folded him that I came with, and I folded the fake Mexican kid that he brought home. So I was in the dorm by myself. So I had a poker, and I had it in my mat. And when they flipped it, I had a poker and a razor. I spit the razor out during the search, and they didn't hear it hit the floor. Everyone saw me spit it out too. And then I got caught with the poker. So when I went to confinement, I already felt some type of way because I didn't want people thinking like, oh, he purposely got caught with a strap so he could go to confinement,
no, why I was proud of you when I first seen, because, bro, there's people, I don't care what race, white, black, Spanish, I don't care. If coming to that compound during wartime, and if that organization is at war and you're still, you know what I'm saying, staying strong by yourself, and you're still throwing your shit up and hanging tight, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going through it. I know you're going through it over there. You know,
yeah.
and you know what comes behind standing on that, you know what I'm saying? On that line. So I thought that was pretty stand up of you to be, you know what I'm saying, saluting and shit, standing tall.
Now, did you hear about what I did in confinement?
Yeah, of course.
How did that? Because at that point we didn't meet yet. So how was it hearing that I had popped that off in confinement, and how did the word travel back to you?
Bro, to be honest, I can't remember exactly how it got back to me, but I remember thinking, damn, I hope I get to meet bro. You know, and it's so weird, bro, that I end up going to the box after hearing that and being your bunkie.
Bro, you got moved into the same room as me right after I cut him.
Room 7 top, quad
the
2.
The same room, bro. It's crazy.
I remember that exact room, everything, bro. That was like, bro, we was hanging out. We was hanging out in there. I didn't have to sleep with one eye. Hey, that's the only time besides, like, okay, I might have had like 1 or 2 other bunkies like this, but bro, you're the only person I've met, and off rip, I don't have to worry about sleeping with one eye open. I'm hanging out. Like, it was, when I met you, I was like, damn, this is my dog already. Like, when I met you, I was like, damn, this dude's solid, bro. And yeah, I remember when you were leaving, I was like, in a way, dog, there's so much shit going on the compound, so many people getting flipped left and right, bro. It doesn't, on both sides, that I was like, damn, I don't want bro to get hit up, because it doesn't matter how many people you hit up. And man, I mean, you know what, bro, you know, I touched a lot of people, bro. I done hit up a lot. I done did a lot of shit.
You hit up a lot of people.
I didn't want that shit to happen to you. That shit was happening to everybody. Remember, everybody was getting crashed. Everybody was getting hit up, stabbed, or cut, or what. Not really stabbed too much, because, you know, it wasn't really rocking like that at Sumter. People weren't getting stabbed like that.
Yeah, there was more just getting cut and fired up.
But at the time, I'm 17. I just turned 17. I don't want my dog to get a motherfucker. I don't want my dog going out there and getting his whole face cut up and shit. You know what I'm saying? but that makes me want to get out there and shed blood. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And
And
I danced.
I remember the first I remember hearing about you. My bro EJ from Tampa, he was the one that told me about you. He was like, yo, there's another white blood. You gotta, you know what I mean? That boy rocking. You gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta meet him. And we were in confinement at the time. And then, you know how it is, they pop your door and you have to cuff up when they put someone in your room in confinement. And all I saw, I didn't really get to view you, but I saw that you were white. So I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get a white boy in my room. I'm taking his trays. I'm gonna take this and that.
I'm gonna be good.
But you know what I mean? I'm thinking like I'm
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean? And then you get put in the room. You uncuffed first. I uncuffed. And right after I turned around, you walked up like what's popping and reached out to piece me up. And I was so taken off guard by that. I was like, what? What he said? And then I realized you was Brando. I was like, oh, bro, it was that feeling like, you know how it was, bro. Like we didn't even spend that much time together in confinement, but I felt like I knew you already my whole life. And anything
Yeah.
that popped off, I'm
Hey,
splattering about you, period.
off
Like
rip, off rip, instantly. I don't
that's
give
just how it was, bro. We just had that, we got a bond real quick that was mad close. And
yeah.
we didn't really get to hit something's compound and like view each other like that. I got out of confinement and fought the kid that I got told on. And we had each other's information though.
Do you remember when I got out? You was at Appalachia. I had wrote you. You remember that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah. Cause I know I wrote your people, but at the same time at Lancaster, when you came to Lancaster, I was already in confinement for getting crashed. So I had got fired up. And then that's when you more or less got my blood back.
Yeah.
Dude that hit me up ended up getting hit up his damn self.
Yeah. Had to. Had
It
to.
was wild.
I just want to say now I'm just focusing on my, getting my life together. I mean, I'm a family man now. I got a son, I got a girl, and I'm just, I got a wife. I'm doing what I gotta do to stay out here and build, man. Gotta
Definitely, definitely.
what I'm
Much
doing.
respect and congratulations to that, bro. That's amazing. It's good to hear, especially the job and everything. Like, it's such a good feeling. Like, I swear to God, it's the same feeling when I used to hear that one of y'all done got somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I heard some good news. I feel the same way when I hear you doing good, family man, working, all that, bro. You know what I mean? I love that peace and that positivity. We don't have to live the
Well,
way we did in there. You know what I mean?
and part of the reason I say that is because if anybody, which for a fact, people that was in prison with us are gonna see this video, and people that know me from prison, like the reason I said that is because they're gonna see this and be like, holy shit, man, he has changed. Cause I didn't give no, man, I didn't give a shit about nothing, bro.
It's like I told everybody, you were the hottest rocking white boy I ever met. And the same person that you got twice, when I got transferred from Sumter, I was in a bus full of nothing but their organization. And I asked them, I was like, hey, which one of y'all my brother Brando hit up? And the dude next to me is like, what type of question is that? And I look over and I see this big old sky and another big old sky right here. I'm just like, damn, look at Brando. Brando done left his signature.
Yeah, that shit was wild, man.
It's wild, bro. We done came a long way, bro. But hey, I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate you sharing your story. I'm sure a ton of other people are gonna feel the same as that way. And I look forward to part 2, bro.
Yo, mad respect for your channel, bro. It was an honor to be on it.